My dad called my career filthy and cut me out of the family fortune, then asked me for $120,000 when my brother wrecked the family business. So my dad owns this construction company that's been in our family for like 30 years. Does commercial buildings, parking garages, that kind of stuff. Pretty successful too. Growing up, he always told me and my brother Austin that we'd take over someday and keep it going. I went to college for civil engineering because I figured that'd help with the business. But during my junior year, I took this random elective about waste management and water treatment. And dude, I got obsessed. I switched my focus and ended up getting a job right after graduation working in wastewater treatment. Yeah, I literally work at a sewage plant. When I told my dad, he lost it. Called me at like 9 at night and just went off. Said I was throwing away my future to play in filth and that I was embarrassing the family. He actually used the word filthy like 5 times in that conversation. Said no son of his was gonna waste his education working at a sewage plant when there was a real business waiting for him. I tried explaining that wastewater treatment is actually super important and the pay is solid and I genuinely like the work, but he wasn't hearing it. He told me I had 1 month to quit and come work for him or I was out. I didn't quit. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from his lawyer. He'd rewritten his will and removed me completely. Everything was going to Austin now. The business, the property in Vermont, his investment accounts, all of it. My mom called crying saying I should just apologize and come back, but I was done. I kept my job and didn't talk to my dad for almost 3 years. Austin, meanwhile, took over more and more of the company. My dad was getting older and had some health stuff going on, so he stepped back and let Austin run things. From what I heard through my mom, Austin was making all these changes. Expanding too fast, taking on projects they didn't have the crew for, buying new equipment they didn't need. About 4 months ago, my mom called and said the business was in trouble. Austin had bid way too low on this massive hospital renovation project, trying to beat out competitors. They got the contract, but were losing money on every single day of work. He'd also bought 3 new excavators on credit right before that, so they were bleeding cash from loan payments too. Then, one of their projects failed inspection because Austin had hired cheap subcontractors who cut corners on the electrical work. The client sued. That was it. The company went from struggling to completely underwater in like 6 weeks. My phone rang on a Tuesday morning. It was my dad. First time he'd called me in 3 years. Didn't even say hello, just launched into it. Said the business was going under and they needed money immediately to cover payroll and legal fees or they'd have to file bankruptcy. He needed $120,000. Said I owed it to the family. I just sat there in my work truck in the plant parking lot holding the phone. Finally, I asked why he thought I had that kind of money. He said I'd been working for years and must have savings, and besides, it was my responsibility as his son. I told him I made decent money, but I didn't have 120 grand just sitting around. He said I could take out a loan then, use my house as collateral. I asked him if he remembered cutting me out of everything. He went quiet for like 10 seconds, then said that was different and this was an emergency. Said Austin made some mistakes, but he was still family and I should want to help. I asked where Austin's money was. Turns out Austin had been paying himself a massive salary for 2 years and had spent it all on a boat and a new Audi and a down payment on a condo in Florida he barely used. My dad kept pushing. Said if I didn't help, he'd lose everything he built. The family name would be ruined. I'd be responsible for destroying his legacy. I told him I had to go and hung up. He called back 6 times that day. Then my mom started calling. Then Austin finally called and actually cussed me out, saying I was selfish and vindictive and that I probably wanted them to fail. Said I was still mad about being cut out of the will like a child. I didn't give them anything. The business filed for bankruptcy 3 weeks later. They had to sell off all the equipment and close down completely. My dad's house was tied up in some of the debt, so they had to sell that too and move into a rental. Austin got a job working for one of their old competitors, making probably a third of what he was paying himself before. My dad sent me one final text last week. Just said I could have saved them and I chose not to. That I wasn't his son anymore. I blocked the number and that was that.